As Mary sat in that barn, gazing on baby Jesus, safe in her arms and love, what was she thinking? Now, I'm of a practical bent, and I'd be thinking, am I ready for all the feedings, especially the midnight ones? And have I got enough people around me to take a shift so, I can get the odd nap? And do I have enough nappies? And do I have enough nappy pins? And wouldn't it be great if somebody would go around and, actually invent the nappy pin? But the thing is, Mary's waiting has been realized. She has a baby. Granted, this one did come with all sorts of sign and wonders and challenges that maybe others don't come with. But she has a baby with all the joys and responsibilities and potential and opportunities that only a newborn can bring. The baby came, full term, and all is well. And for some, that's miracle and enough. But what was going through her mind? And I wonder, did she recall this verse from Habakkuk in chapter 2, verse 3? For there is still a vision for the appointed time. It speaks of the end and does not lie. If it seems to tarry, wait for it. It will come. It will surely come. It will not delay. Now, Mary would have been familiar with the writings of Habakkuk far more than we are. He was around in Judah at the end of the 7th century and the beginning of the 6th century BCE. He writes for all people who are living in the times between God's promise of creation restored and the promise fully realized. Habakkuk speaks of a faith which lives in the world as it is, and yet knows that it is not fully as God dreams it to be. Because God does have a dream for all humankind and indeed creation itself. It is that all of us should have life and life in abundance. God wants all creation to live in love and in hope and in joy and in peace, to know justice, love. And yet, from the time of Habakkuk to Mary and Joseph, people were still waiting. They were in those in-between days, the meanwhile days, the wondering days. As Mary held Jesus, did she think to herself, God is working this vision out. I hold this confirmation in my arms. And God has answered the question of how long in this babe in my arms. Now, the question of how long takes on a whole new poignancy for us this year. And yet the incarnation is not just in our hands. It is born in the inns of our hearts if we're open to it. It is this insight that inspires the great human family to seek justice and resist everything that would deny it. It inspired St. Paul and Martin Luther, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Dorothy Day, my parents, my grandparents, and everyone who has ever mentored and inspired us in the faith. May it continue to inspire. God knows that the world is not as it was intended to be, and God is setting it right. God invites us to offer our hands and our hearts to be co-heirs with creation, that this vision might be lived and known by all. You see, there is hope. The baby is in a manger.